Boston's Back Bay neighborhood is one of the most desirable areas to live, not just in the state of Massachusetts, but the country as well. This neighborhood is a sophisticated urban center with a residential feel, providing a polished and elegant lifestyle to its residents. Back Bay was quite literally once a saltwater bay until the 1800s, when it was filled in with dirt and gravel from Western Mass, creating a gray neighborhood of wealth and status. The majority of homes here today were completed in the late 1800s, being mainly Victorian single-family homes, most of which have been converted into condos, kept as single-family homes, or changed into multifamily rental buildings. In this video, we are looking at the 5 best streets on which one can live in the Back Bay. We will talk about the key characteristics of homes on these streets, what to consider if you're searching for a property in the Back Bay, along with the cost to own a home here. The Back Bay is traversed by 5 east to west corridors: Beacon Street, Marlborough Street, Commonwealth Ave, Newbury Street, and Boylston Street. These are interrupted at regular intervals by north-south streets, which are Arlington, Berkeley, Clarendon, Dartmouth, Exeter, Fairfield, and Gloucester. All of the west to east streets, except for Commonwealth Avenue, are one-way streets. Starting with Beacon Street, this is much more of a through street and runs through Boston's central and western neighborhoods, such as Beacon Hill, Back Bay, Fenway, the Boston University campus, Brighton, and Chestnut Hill. This street features some of the largest mansions in the Back Bay, with excellent Charles River views. Residents have immediate access to Storrow Drive and the Charles River Esplanade. Every building on Beacon Street has been beautifully maintained and updated throughout the years, each having a unique story. Beacon Street mainly consists of buildings which have been converted into condos, with only 16 total single-family homes. Over the past 4 years, 340 homes have traded hands on Beacon Street in the Back Bay, with the average sales price being $1.8 million for condos and $9.9 million for single-family homes. The least expensive home sold on Beacon Street since 2019 was 371 Beacon Street Unit 1, a 328 square foot studio which sold for $420,000. The most expensive Beacon Street sale was 150 Beacon Street, a 6,300 square foot penthouse that sold for $17 million. One street down, Marlborough Street is another one of Back Bay's most desirable streets to live on. This is Back Bay's most residential-like street, with many trees and not as much traffic coming through. This gives the homes here a much more suburban feel. The buildings are mainly Victorian-style brownstones, consisting of 45 single-family homes, with the rest having been converted into condos. The end of Marlborough Street leads directly to the public garden entrance. Just like on Beacon Street, these homes are all of historic significance and have been well maintained. Over the past 4 years, 158 homes have traded hands on Marlborough Street, with the average sales price being $1.6 million for condos and $8.3 million for single-family homes. The least expensive home sold here since 2019 was 227 Marlborough Street Unit 2, a 280 square foot studio which sold for $390,000. The most expensive sale was 321 Marlborough Street, a 10,000 square foot single-family residence which sold for $11 million. Next, one of Boston's most picturesque streets, Commonwealth Ave, which was designed to mimic the streets of Paris, with a 32-acre, 1.5-mile-long park in the middle, which connects the Boston Public Garden to the Fens. The portion of the street within the Back Bay has some of Boston's most historically significant homes. The townhomes and mansions traverse a variety of styles, with a mix of brownstone and limestone facades. This is the street that most people will think of when it comes to living in the Back Bay. Most of the homes are seated on lots which vary in width from 20 to 30 feet. Over the past 4 years, 233 homes have traded hands on Commonwealth Ave, with the average sales price being $2.1 million for condos and $9 million for single-family homes. The least expensive home sold here since 2019 was 362 Commonwealth Ave Unit 1B, a 280 square foot studio which sold for $262,000. The most expensive sale was 2 Commonwealth Ave Penthouse 2, a penthouse unit with 3,600 square feet, which sold for $15 million. Really quick, my name is Charlie Smith. I'm a real estate advisor in Boston, and I help people from all over buy, lease, or invest in the city. If you have any questions about Boston or real estate in general, you can find my contact information in the description of this video. Next is Arlington Street, which runs parallel to the public garden. It intersects both Beacon Street and Boylston Street and is at the end of Newbury Street, Marlborough Street, and Commonwealth Ave. Arlington Street consists of a mix between residential and commercial properties. Sales on Arlington Street are relatively infrequent due to the scarcity of homes. The exclusivity is also heightened by the coveted views of the Boston Public Garden from homes here, making them some of the most highly sought after in the Back Bay. Over the past 4 years, 10 homes have traded hands on Arlington Street, with the average sales price being $4.1 million for condos. The least expensive home sold on Arlington Street since 2019 was 136 Arlington Street, Unit 2, a 470 square foot one-bedroom unit, which sold for $500,000. The most expensive sale was 9 Arlington Street, Unit 4, a 4,100 square foot three-bedroom home, which sold for $11.2 million. Lastly, Boylston Street, which is a major east-west thoroughfare beginning in Boston's Chinatown neighborhood, running through the Back Bay and ending in Fenway. This street forms the southern border of the Boston Public Garden and Boston Common. The street is lined with a mix of commercial buildings, including shops, restaurants, and cultural institutions, which makes it a prominent destination for both locals and visitors. Copley Square and the Boston Public Library also sit on the street. In terms of homes, Boylston Street features 3 main condo buildings, which contain some of the most exclusive units in the city of Boston. These are the Mandarin Oriental at 778 Boylston Street, the Heritage on the Garden at 300 Boylston Street, and the older Four Seasons at 220 Boylston Street. The Heritage on the Garden and the Four Seasons feature excellent views of the Boston Public Garden and Boston Common, while the Mandarin Oriental has some of the best resident amenities and services out of any Boston condo building. Over the past 4 years, 65 homes have traded hands on Boylston Street, with the average sales price being $4.8 million for condos. The least expensive home sold on Boylston Street since 2019 was 1091 Boylston Street, Unit 49, a 560 square foot studio, which sold for $550,000. The most expensive sale was 776 Boylston Street, Unit Penthouse 2E, a 6,800 square foot 4-bedroom penthouse, which sold for $23 million. If you're in the market for a home on one of these streets, there are several things that should be considered. Elevator access is not guaranteed, as many of the buildings are older and some units will be walk-ups. Elevator access in a building is great, with direct-to-unit access being even better. Finding an on-street permit parking spot in the Back Bay can be challenging. Having an included parking or garage space should be a main criteria within your search. With many of the lots being so narrow, quite a few buildings have rooms split across numerous floors, making single-level living more desirable. Ideally, you want to find a property which has all bedrooms on the same floor. Overall, the Back Bay is one of the best places to live in the city and state. Every street in the Back Bay neighborhood has excellent dwelling options in which to live or invest. If you're considering a move to Boston or would like further information about the Back Bay, I'm ready to assist you. Check the description to book a meeting, email or call me, and stay tuned for more videos on Boston real estate and luxury condo buildings.